Hey guys, welcome back to the Music Hole. My name is Cole, and today we're going to be talking about an album from 2013 called Dream River by Bill Callahan. And I love Bill Callahan. You know, this is like his solo career after his stint with Smog for like the 90s and the 2000s. And he's developed such a distinct, really bass-heavy voice in his later years. And it's a really nice sound. I really like his voice, and it really comes through on this record. But this record is really interesting. It's kind of in the vein of like Van Morrison-y singer-songwriter type albums from the 70s. But just the sound of it is really unique. It's really different. It's kind of hard to describe. So, you know, thank goodness I play clips for you guys. But anyway, I hope you guys like it or find it interesting. But as always, I've got some clips lined up of some favorite moments that I want to talk about. So let's jump right in.
Drinking while sleeping, strangers unknowingly keep me company in the hotel bar. Looking out a window that isn't there. Looking at the carpet and the chairs. Well, the only words I said today are beer and thank you.
Wow, so yeah, that's the Sing. And our character in this story is just a total drunkard, you know. He's probably really depressed. We're not sure what happened to him at the moment, but you know, he's at a hotel bar, as he says. He's kind of buzzed. He's just kind of staring off at the chairs, just kind of losing it a little bit. And you know, he needs the company of strangers because I imagine whatever happened to this guy, he doesn't want to be alone. And he wants to feel good, which is why he drinks, you know, so B. So yeah, I kind of tie it to the album cover in a way, because if you notice, you've got what looks like a mountain and I guess a waterfall right here, but it's all really hazy and out of focus. You know, it's a very abstract painting. So you could kind of maybe say that like maybe this represents this guy's worldview at the moment as a drunkard, or even just as a guy who might be a little bit lost in life. Everything just looks kind of fuzzy and out of focus. It just made me think of that. I could be wrong. But anyway, that's all I have to say about the Sing. It's a really different sounding song, as you heard. The instrumentation in the recording on this album is just second to none, really. It just really stands out to me. But anyway, that's all I have to say about this song. So let's move on to track number 2, which is called Javelin, Unlanding.
You look like worldwide Armageddon. While you slept, you look so peaceful and scare me. Don't die just yet and leave me alone, alone, alone on on this journey round the sun.
Oh my goodness, this poor guy, you know, it sounds like the reason that he's just like wasted at the bar all day is his ex-girlfriend. It sounds like his ex-girlfriend killed herself, you know. He says that she looked like worldwide Armageddon, and she also looked peaceful at the same time. And he's like, you know, don't die on me just yet, because I don't want to live this world, or I don't want to live this life alone. So this poor guy, you know, I would probably have a similar reaction for at least a little while, right? If the love of my life either killed herself or just died for any reason, really. But I guess she killed herself. So this poor guy, he's very, very sad, and he's drinking away all of his feelings, you know. So that's all I have to say about this song. It's another really interesting song, sonically speaking. Again, this album just has a very distinct, very unique sound. The only thing that sounds like it really, I guess, is Van Morrison, but even that's kind of a stretch. But anyway, enough about this song. Let's move on to track number 3, which is called Small Plane.
I never liked to land. Getting back up seems impossibly grand. We do it with ease. Danger, I never think of danger. I really am a lucky man. I really am a lucky man, flying this small plane.
Yeah, so Small Plane is a pretty interesting song, in my opinion, because it sounds like this guy recognizes that he has a really big drinking problem, you know, post-girlfriend suicide. And as he says, you know, he doesn't like the land because it's really hard to get back up. So I kind of interpret that as like, he doesn't want to get sober because once he's sober, you know, obviously he's not buzzed, so he's not feeling good. But then also he has to confront all of the problems in his life, not only because of his drinking, but he also has to like seriously deal with the loss of his love. So, you know, he's flying this small plane, metaphorically speaking. He says he's a lucky man, and I don't know. The way I interpret that is he's lucky in the sense that he at least had this one wonderful relationship. You know, because some people will never even meet one person to have a wonderful relationship with. So I guess you could say that like this guy is sort of appreciative of the fact that like, well, even though she's gone, at least we had this time together, you know. So he's a lucky man in some respect. But yeah, he's just having trouble. He doesn't want to get sober because if he gets sober, then he has to really confront all of this sadness. So a really cool song. I really like it. But that's all I have to say about it. So let's move on to track number 4 called Spring.
Waiting for the light of day, and all I want to do is to make love to you with a careless mind, with a careless mind. Careless mind. Who cares what's mine? With a careless mind. So it's called Spring for a couple reasons, in my opinion.
Usually in the springtime, depressed people start to feel better. I feel that way as a person who has seasonal affective disorder. So in the wintertime, I'm kind of sad, and in the springtime, I feel better. So I interpret it like that on one hand. But then on the other hand, spring as in this guy is finally starting to move on a little bit. He's trying to have another relationship, even if it's just a one-night stand. It sounds like a one-night stand. He says all he wants to do is to make love to this girl with a careless mind. So basically, like, he wants to have fun. He wants to have sexual fun. He wants to be with another girl. But the problem is, he can't stop remembering his ex, is what it sounds like. He just cannot let go of her memory. So, like, he's with this girl. It's late at night. It's probably like 2 a.m., 3 a.m. And he just wants to make love to whoever this new person is. But he's just finding it impossible almost, because he doesn't have a careless mind. He's just constantly, not only is he thinking about his ex, but he's also like worried that if he gets into a new relationship, possibly with this girl, that she could die, or she could leave him, or any number of things like that, So basically, he's now considering that any new future relationship might also end in major heartbreak. So he's thinking about all these things, as we all do. So this poor guy, he just wants to live his life without being so depressed from his ex's suicide that he can't, like, function. So this poor guy. But that's spring. That's all I have to say about it. So let's move on to track number 5, which is called Ride My Arrow.
The eagle flies using the river as a map. A small animal in its clasp, alive and enjoying the ride. Is life a ride to ride, or a story to shape and confide, or chaos neatly denied?
Yeah, so Ride My Arrow starts to get a little philosophical here. Bill imagines himself as a small animal that's being clutched by an eagle, and the eagle is flying to wherever. So it's a really interesting analogy because as he says, the small animal is enjoying this flight, but really the end of the flight is obviously the animal's death. He's going to get eaten alive, right? So he's just thinking about, like, is life just a ride that you enjoy, that you can't do anything about, or can destiny be changed? Is fate in your hands? Is what he's saying. So he's trying to, like, maybe on one hand figure out, was my ex's death preventable? Was it just fate? Was there something I could have done about it? He's thinking these philosophical thoughts. So I like this song quite a bit, And again, a really interesting, lovely sound. But that's all I have to say about it. So let's move on to track number 6, which is called Summer Painter.
Come September, Come fall, holding a job was not believable behavior at all. So I split. But like a beaver is a dam builder, you never really quit. I made some dough and I socked it away. I always said for a rainy day. I never truly knew who I was working for anyway. The rich or the poor, who am I working for? The rich or the poor?
Yeah, so this song is a little confusing to me, I'll admit. But I tried to interpret it. You know, I've tried my best. And I imagine that Bill's character has seasonal affective disorder, at the very least, right? Because he says, come September and fall, having a job is not believable behavior for this guy. So this guy is so screwed up mentally. He's so depressed. And he has such bad seasonal affective disorder that he just cannot function in the wintertime, it sounds like. But then he also says, you know, like a beaver who builds a dam, you never really quit. So it sounds like this guy, again, is a drunkard, you know, because of his ex. And he's trying to not be, but it sounds like he's become an alcoholic at this point, you know. And so the rainy day that he saved up for is basically his wintertime spent as a drunkard, going to bars, trying to feel better, right? Because in the springtime he feels good, he feels happy-ish, he feels hopeful. But now it's the wintertime, and he feels really sad, and the only way he can feel better, the only way he knows how to feel better, right, is to be a drunkard. So he's got money saved up from being a summer painter, you know. So his summer painter job is now paying for his daily bar visits. So this poor guy. But that's all I have to say about Summer Painter. So let's move on to track number 7 called Seagull.
A barroom may entice, a seagull like me. Right off the sea.
Again, so just like Summer Painter, you know, we're getting into the fact that in the spring, in the summer, Bill imagines himself as being a seagull who is out to sea, and he's flying and things are looking up. He's probably, you know, trying to catch fish to eat, metaphorically. And eventually, though, he's going to have to go back to land. And land for him in the wintertime is the bar room, right? Because he says the bar room may entice. So he's like temporarily fine in the summer, but eventually it's just fate, as he thinks of it, that he'll just go back to the bar room. He's just a complete alcoholic at this point. But that's all I have to say about this song, really. I do have another clip, though, from this song, which is just a really cool instrumental bit that I just love as like an ear candy moment. So let's check it out. again, there's not much you can say about it. I thought it sounded really cool, so I wanted to play it for you guys. But there's only one more song on the record. It's called Winter Road. So let's see how this guy's journey ends.
The road is dangerous. And pretty and white. Tires spinning on snow. World spinning heavy and slow. And I'm headed home.
Oh my goodness. So yeah, it was gonna happen eventually, right? He apparently got drunk, got behind the wheel, and it sounds like he got into an accident. So this guy's life just like started here and just completely, rolled down into oblivion. So yeah, it's the end of the album. It's called Winter Road, and it's called Winter Road because, as he says, he's driving in the snowy conditions, and he's a little drunk, and he messes up, and that's the end of this guy. So that's our Dream River. That's all I have to say about it. I mean, it's a pretty sad and depressing album, but relatable in a way, And, I just hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope I made you think about it in a new way, possibly. But again, if you've got some thoughts, if you liked it, if you didn't like it, if you had different interpretations of what was going on, please let me know, and I'll check them out. And if you liked the video, please like and subscribe. It would really help out. I enjoy making these. But yeah, that's Bill Callahan, Dream River. Check it out, and have a good one.